Yeah, we are 3 weeks into the season, but there is still more to learn about this Michigan State team. What is it? We talk with Connor Muldowney about it. Let's go.
You are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Just visit FanDuel.com to get started. Spartan friends, Spartan family, Locked On Spartans listeners, thank you all so much for tuning in to Locked On Spartans, your 3-0 team in green and white right here in the Locked On Podcast Network. Please rate, review, subscribe, do whatever makes you happy. If that includes commenting below any questions or you just want to compliment the kind and fine Connor Muldowney here, go ahead and do that as I stumble through this intro. Also, hey, if you want to reach out to via email, lockedonspartans@gmail.com is the place to do it. Connor, you do fantastic work over at Spartan Shadows. We talk about Michigan State here all the time. So, of course, as you fanboy media, we're supposed to know everything and already have concrete takeaways just 3 weeks into a season. Like, we should know everything about this team, but this is an odd spot that we are approaching our fourth game. There's still something pretty big that I'm just still unsure about. Overall, I am positive about the run defense, which I will talk about, but man, I am excited to learn about what this run defense is truly made of. We hit on it a little yesterday in the reaction show after the Purdue A&M win. But really quick, before I eventually let you talk this episode, this is what I mean by this. Boston College, their rush offense right now, 5.1 yards per carry against Florida State. Okay, that's really good. They look pretty dominant in that Labor Day game. 6.7 yards against Duquesne, which turns out has a football team. I had no idea. That was a fun fact. But just last Saturday against a really, really good Missouri team on the road, just 1.9 yards per carry. Now, Michigan State, we know it's a strength so far. 2.8 yards per carry was allowed against FAU. Also against Maryland, just 0.6 yards per carry against Prairie View A&M. But man, this is the first time they're going to be facing a legitimate rushing attack, one that's not replacing at least 4 starters or as an FCS team. So Connor, I'm fascinated to learn truly what we can take away from this game. And if this rush defense isn't just going to be like hey, they're pretty good. I want to see if they're damn good, Connor. Is that the number one thing that you are looking to learn in this game coming up this Saturday? Or is it something else over there?
I kind of want to see what Aidan Chiles is made of. Like we've seen, we've seen him in the opener. He had first game jitters, whatever it was. The first interception wasn't really his fault, and I don't even think it was an interception.
That was tough. Yeah.
And I think that kind of got in his head a little bit because he was kind of off a little bit. Then he bounced back and just dominated Maryland. And I mean, he still had the turnover issue. And then he came back. He didn't need to do anything at Prairie View. He could have not passed the ball once, and we would have won probably by 30. So I want to see how he's going to fare. First, I don't know if I can consider Maryland like a tough road game because that atmosphere, I've heard like from former players and stuff, they don't consider Maryland like a tough place to play, which is fair.
Yeah,
they're not football fans there. I mean, like that's a basketball school. That's a basketball school. This is his first, red bandana game under the lights against a team that was just in the top 25. This is going to be like his first real test. And I want to see if he gets rattled or if he's just, calm, cool, collected like he was in Maryland and last week. And I want to see him string together a second straight turnover-free game.
I love that because, you got to level up in your difficulty here. It's like, you're playing a video game. All right, you beat level 1, you beat level 2, you beat level 3. Like, you got your opening game jitters out of the way. Okay, that's level 1. You go to by definition, a road venue in Maryland. But Connor, just like you said, man, like that's as docile of an atmosphere as you could possibly find. We actually talked with Brian Lewerke last week about it, and he said, you know what, it was almost harder playing there just because of the lack of energy that you have. He'd rather play in Happy Valley in front of 100,000 whiteout fans. So, like, it is just such a flaccid atmosphere over in College Park. But look, the boys are buzzing over in Chestnut Hill, like Boston College. It will be a sellout over there. And I'm sure there will be a good contingent of Michigan State fans. Like, traveling to road destinations has never been an issue for Spartan faithful. But yes, this will be the most hostile atmosphere so far in his very young career that he will play in. So that's a great one, Connor. God, look at you just hitting home runs right out of the gate here. How scared are you that it is a red bandana game? And look, we'll get in front of it right now. That this is the 10th iteration of the red bandana game. The red bandana game, they're going to wear special jerseys. It's to honor Wells Crother. He is a former lacrosse player at Boston College, lost his life saving a bunch of people in 9/11. Like, it is a beautiful tribute that they do. They've gotten up for these games. They've had some great upset wins. But Connor, did you know they're only 4-5 in these red bandana games? Isn't that kind of crazy? Because I would have guessed, like, if I had to guess, I would have guessed they're at least 7-2 or 8-1. But even just still, I feel like there's a mystique around the red bandana game. I know you can't quantify this like statistically, but I'm shooketh. I'm shooketh over here.
Boston College has been kind of like one of those. Like they can rise to like a Purdue, like they can rise to the occasion, but they've been so mediocre for the past decade.
I know.
Yeah, like. And then this team just has a different feel. Like this Boston College team is, Bill O'Brien's kind of got them chugging along. They almost won at Missouri, which is,
I know, they look good.
They look good, and they dominated Florida State. Which that win is starting to look worse and worse by the week. But that's surprising. And I think that if State comes out and kind of throws the first punch and kind of quiets the crowd, like honestly, take the ball right away, go down and score. Like
that easy.
Don't defer. Just take the ball right away, go down and score.
Ball game.
Yeah.
Love that.
I mean, it's so much harder than that. But like you gotta throw the first punch in a huge environment like this. That but I think
and try to not commit double-digit penalties. I know that's going to go so far away from what this team is made out of so far after 3 games, double-digit penalties, and not 1, not 2, but all 3 games so far. But just like Jonathan Smith said after the game against Prairie View, like that's going to catch up to you eventually, and hopefully we can kind of limit all that nonsense here. There is another thing too that I'm just kind of wondering, and I need you to kind of break check me to see if I'm like not panicking, but seeing if I'm bordering on panicking right now. I'm wondering if or like when we get the quote unquote Jack Velling game. Like highly touted tight end transfer from Oregon State, obviously a starter for this team. Last year, we all know the story. 8 touchdown catches as a tight end. That led the nation at that position. But so far this season, 6 catches, 82 yards. Like, it's not a total dud of a season from him. Like, he is a solid run blocker after all. And there's other talent in the tight end room too, like Michael Masunis. He's also played 93 snaps so far this season, and he's looked mighty fine doing it as well. But I wonder if, we ever get Jack Velling popping here, like a game that's north of at 50 receiving yards. And, well, would you look at this? Perhaps a touchdown, a red zone touchdown, a red zone where Michigan State's kind of been struggling at this year. I believe it's been 13 trips, 8 scores, just 5 of them being touchdowns. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, what's your takeaway with Jack Velling kind of starting this year quietly as far as pass catching goes?
I think like everybody talks about, him and Chiles were kind of, they came in together, they have this rapport already, but the two didn't really play together. Like that wasn't
not often, right?
Veling's quarterback. So like they're still kind of figuring that out. That's kind of like every receiver and Chiles were figuring it out. You saw that week 1, there were a lot of people not on the same page. I think that happened a little bit in week 2, and that's why it led to a couple interceptions. He's still trying to learn. I mean, Chiles is still trying to learn the offense just as much as Velling is. So I think once like they get in the groove of it, I think we're starting to see him kind of perk up a little bit more every week. I think it's only a matter of time before they have, especially with all the receivers going down, like we don't have.
No kidding. Right.
We're already down Alante Brown, and Glover's a hopeful for this weekend. So I think he's going to have to, out of necessity, step up. But I think that like once Chiles feels more comfortable in the offense, he's going to start looking for his guy more.
Hopefully it comes. I mean, look, we didn't get this kid from Corvallis just for nothing. The run blocking is nice. Again, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I want some sizzle here with my tight end. We've been building up like, hey, you know what? This could be the best tight end that we've had here since Josiah Price. But, we'll see if we see it this Saturday. Now, hey, Connor, coming up next is a game that I did not tell you about whatsoever. You had no chance to prepare for this. Guys, we're going to go to K4ratings.com. And we're going to have Connor guess the percent chance Michigan State has to win the rest of the games this season coming up. That's right. It is going to be a hot seat for Mr. Muldowney. I feel kind of bad about it. I'm really setting him up for failure here. But hey, before we get to that, guys, need to talk your ears off about ROY, a.k.a., well, Roy. Everyone knows how to say that word. This is going to be a game changer for NIL Spartan fans. Have you heard about Roy? Well, it stands for Return on You, and it's a new platform that lets you, the fans, get involved in NIL like never before. before by making contributions directly to your favorite athletes. By supporting players directly, you can help shape rosters, retain talent, and keep your favorite athletes out of the transfer portal. As you know, NIL has changed the game for athletes. Roy changes the NIL game for fans. They allow you to directly back your favorite college athletes. With Roy, fans can play a key role in shaping the future of their favorite teams, while athletes maximize their NIL potential. All right, their contributions are securely held and only distributed if the athlete makes the decision that aligns with the fan support. So if they hit the transfer portal, guys, the money's coming right back to you. So yes, it is a direct impact of what you can have for Michigan State's roster. Download Roy for iOS or Android and enter referral code Locked On, and you'll be automatically entered into a sweepstakes to win $5,000 cash. Visit joinroy.com for additional details. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Again, the Roy app for iOS and Android. Referral code Locked On for an opportunity to win $5,000 in cash. Visit joinroy.com for more details. Get off the sidelines and into the NIL game with Roy. All right, let's drag him back out here. It is Connor Muldowney of Spartan Shadows. And you know what? Hey, we've talked to Mr. Kelly Ford of kfordratings.com. They do fantastic work. It is all predictive. They do the analytics, this, and that. The man knows his college football. This is what the numbers are saying. We're going to put Connor Muldowney squarely on the hot seat, and we're going to go game by game the rest of the season to get his prediction of, hey, what percent chances Michigan State have to win this game according to kfordratings.com. Connor, are you ready? Are you ready for this? How are you feeling? Are you feeling confident, or are you feeling like I could dice you up here?
What if I told you I studied these ratings every week?
Well, son of a gun. Let's find that out. I was going to say this could be a total dud. You're going to look like a genius here. So
that's the hope.
Yeah, we'll see. We're going to start this Saturday's game. We're going to go in chronological order. We're not going to bebop. That'd be ridiculous. So your Michigan State Spartans, Connor, they go to Boston College, 8 p.m. game, of course, on the marquee channel. That is ACC Network. What percent chance do you give the Spartans to win this game?
I would go like 41.
Yeah. Now, hold on.
Wait, are we doing like specific, like that close? Or are we doing like?
Oh, no. We are, which I got to say, like, if you have read kfordratings.com, 41% was actually the preseason projection, but preseason. So that's a very good guess. However,
like 36 now.
You know what? Something bad has been happening, Connor. While Michigan State has looked great, while they've been going 3-0, while our quarterback has looked great, our run defense has looked really solid, a lot of other teams on our schedule have also been looking really good. This is now a 24% chance of victory this upcoming Saturday. That is very similar to what we had against Maryland, and that game turned out okay. So, yes, while it is a quarter of a chance to win this game, Michigan State's already done it so far this year. But, yes, that is a 17% difference from the preseason rankings here. Let's go on because, well, these next two games, I'll spoil it. It's not a high percentage here. Ohio State, what percent chance does K-Ford Ratings have to win this game for MSU?
6.
Okay, close. 4. Okay. 4%. The preseason, it was also 4%. Nothing has really changed here. So no matter how good Michigan State has looked. The Oregon game, 6 days after Ohio State, you got to hit the road, go to the West Coast to take on the Ducks. What percent chance do our Spartans have at that one, Connor?
I'm going to also go 4 for that one.
Oh, you should have went back to 6 because it is 6%. Very close, obviously, though. Now, the preseason rankings, they had Michigan State at a 2% chance to win that game. So look at us tripling our percentage here. We've gone from 2 to 6. Climb that rope, baby. That's right. Don't say that we're not going to plant a flag in the middle of Autzen Stadium here in a few weeks. No, obviously still a tough game, but Oregon, like they've had some cracks. Clearly not enough cracks to make it even a double-digit % chance of victory, which I feel like is fair. Now, let's go into the rest of this because I think that there's going to be a few surprises here the rest of the season. Iowa, coming off a bye week for your Spartans, what % chance do you have to win the homecoming game, Mr. Muldowney?
I would bet that the preseason one was around like 40, but I bet right now it's probably 55.
See, this is where the surprises come in because it is still below 50%, even at a home game, even off a bye week, even with the mystique of homecoming. Connor, it's 30%. 30%. The ratings, no matter what happened to that Iowa State game, maybe they just throw out all the numbers for that just because the Cyhawk game is such a bleep show every single year. But they think the offense is just marginally average enough to still hang in there. And, well, their defense is still projected as the number 2 best in the nation. So 30%. which is still up 6% from preseason. Preseason had us at 24%, but I got to say, I was surprised to see that. I still will be predicting a Michigan State win for that homecoming game, but like, is that your biggest surprise so far, that Iowa's just a 30% chance of victory?
Yeah, I think that and the fact that the Boston College one went down by so much, by 7.
No kidding. I know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Speaks to how competent they're doing.
Yeah, we look decent, and it's gone down 17 points. So I don't know.
That's just how good the other teams have looked, which is kind of devastating. Now, speaking of quite the opposite, actually, of looking a lot better than people thought, the Michigan game the following week on the road. Of course, you got to visit Ann Arbor for this one. But Connor, what % chance do our Spartans have of winning the Paul Bunyan Trophy again?
Was this a surprising one? Can I ask that?
I truly don't know. Like, it seems right to me, but like it depends how you view the whole Michigan season so far. I think
I'll go 23%.
Not too far off, 16%. So you're within a touchdown of guessing the percentage there. But hey, go back to the preseason. That was just an 8% chance of victory right there. So, yeah. I mean, it's creeping up to like that realm of, I could actually see it happening. I'm not willing to puff my chest yet and predict, hey, Michigan State will win this game. But I came into the season thinking, yeah, you're probably definitely going to lose that game. Now it's like, you're probably going to lose that game, but they just announced Alex Orji as a starter against USC. He clearly wasn't good enough to win the starting job. I wonder if we keep on getting more belief in that game as the weeks go on. Where are you at with the MSU Michigan game? Are you ready to puff your chest and say, down go the Wolverines, or where are you at, Connor?
I wouldn't say I'm anywhere near there, but like seeing them struggle offensively so much, I mean, that's kind of like the biggest issue we've had over the years. We couldn't stop them. Like they would just run down our throats, do whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And now they have, one good running back and, no quarterbacks. So I think that we could, win a 7-0 game there. I don't know.
It's going to have to be a filthy game. Like harken back to 2017, like biblical rainstorm.
Monsoon. Yeah.
That was the best. Meanwhile, Harbaugh still airing the ball out as if it's an 85-degree and sunny day. That was a really good game plan. He had that one. Anyway, as we move on to the Indiana game, a home game for you, what % chance do we have to win at home against the Hoosiers, Connor?
I know this one's going to be surprising because Indiana has looked really good so far. Oh man, I bet you it's under 50%, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm gonna say it's like 42%.
I almost fell on the ground when I saw this.
It's
Indiana has looked really good. Like they just boat raced UCLA.
Yeah.
Connor.
No.
Are you sitting down for this one?
Don't tell me.
Actually, cover your ears. I'm going to whisper this to everyone else. It's 26%. 26%. What even like as good as Indiana is right now, like that is just jarring to see that in any circumstance, Indiana visiting Spartan Stadium can have a 74% chance of victory. Yes, MSU right now, per the projections, and you go ahead and get mad at Kelly Ford. Great guy, but go ahead and get mad at him for this one. 26%. Like, I think Indiana looks really good. Don't get me wrong, but 26% chance of victory. I thought it was going to be like 45, 50-ish percent because still, Connor, at the end of the day, like, we've looked fine. I thought at least, maybe not.
You know what? I disagree with that.
Let's go. Screw the numbers. There we go. That's right. We are Kelly Ford, not a ball knower. That's right. No, Kelly Ford's a great guy. So Illinois on the road, Champaign. What % chance do the Spartans have at that one?
Like I know this one's low too because they beat Kansas a couple weeks ago, but Kansas looked bad last week, so I don't know.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
I'm gonna go 33%.
Okay, 38%. So you're right, having it in the 30s. As we go, 6 days later, back at home, Friday night, which, like, I can't wait for that game. Chilly Friday night, November game at Spartan Stadium. That's going to be a real fans-only game right there. What % chance do you have for your Michigan State Spartans to win that one?
Who's the opponent? Purdue?
Purdue. I did not say the opponent. I'm sorry. Purdue, the Boilermakers. My bad.
Oh man, Purdue. Well, they just lost by 100 to Notre Dame.
It was 105 actually. So 105? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna be like super optimistic and say 71%.
It's nice, but not that nice. It's nice.
64%.
It's a nice 69%, Connor. That's what we're sitting at. Right now, which is actually like a skyrocketed, jump in the percentages from the preseason because, hey, before the season was kicked off, That was a 48% chance game. So things have gone up by 21% right there. That's the biggest jump Michigan State has seen in their projections.
They projected us to lose at home against Purdue in the preseason.
The wrong side of a coin toss. Yeah, I thought that was fascinating, but obviously, water is starting to level out here right now. Let's go to the grand finale here. It's Rutgers to end the season at Spartan Stadium. What percent shot for Michigan State, Connor?
I'm not going to say it's as high as Purdue, but I will say it's above 50%. I'm going to go 57.
You're going to have to drop that down a little bit. We're going to have to do an ode to Mr. Jackie Robinson because it is a smooth 42%. So there are the percentages. If you caught track of that, that means MSU is just projected to win one more game. I want to get Connor's thoughts on that sentence I just said. Projected to win one more game. But first, of course, can't let him do it now. I got to talk your ears off about FanDuel Sportsbook, America's #1 sportsbook. Guys, they have hooked it up all season long. You already know this. The spreads, the props, the futures, the same game parlays. I'm excited to, fancy a wager on Jack Velling anytime touchdown score this upcoming week in this Boston College game. We already know it. It's America's #1 sportsbook. If you want to have some action anywhere, you just do it over on FanDuel. But they also want to take care of you this football season. And hey, you got to act fast on this because this is not going to last any longer than this Sunday. Because now through Sunday, September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out of market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you cancel any time. Guys, again, this is good through September 22nd. $5 bet. That is a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV, courtesy of FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. To get that started, just visit FanDuel.com. Again, guys, FanDuel.com. Download America's #1 sportsbook. Now, let's drag him back on here. Let's see if his jaw's off the floor yet, because I got to say, I'm pretty surprised that, as good as we've looked, and I know other teams have looked better, that we're only predicted to win one more game. It's safe to say that's how you're feeling, that you're a little shocked to hear all those numbers, Connor?
I never would have guessed, especially after the 3-0 start, and I assumed that, we would have been a little bit more regarded. I would say that, 6 of those were a little shocking.
Especially how low the Indiana game was too. Humming around what would I say? What I have in my notes here? 26% chance to win that game. That is crazy. Again, I'm not gonna count it off yet. But if I gave you a contract, you get to sign it right now that says Michigan State goes 6-6 the rest of the season. You get into a bowl game. We'll call it the Jacksonville Tax Slayer Bowl, whatever it is. Do you just take it and run? Do those numbers scare you enough? Or are you gonna roll the dice in? Or are you gonna say, you know what, let's play this out? I can see 7-5, 8-4, what have you.
I mean, I think Maryland is a better team than Illinois, Purdue, Rutgers, and we beat them on the road. So, to me, 6-6 should be the floor right now. Winning 3 more games on the schedule should be the floor.
That's kind
to me. I don't know. Is that me being crazy? I feel like that's.
I don't think it is, and this is maybe we're just stuck in our own little Sparty vacuum over here. But no, because that's what I'm most fascinated with. Of course, it wasn't the Oregon and Ohio State game. The Indiana was obviously jarring, but it's those last 3 games. Illinois, 38% chance to win. Purdue, 69% chance to win, of course, and then the home finale against Rutgers. Rutgers has looked fine to start the year. I think they have looked good, but it's not like we just, accidentally won that Maryland game. That there were good things shown in that one. So I don't know, it was surprising. And I brought this up not to, grill you or to try to embarrass you, but I think a lot of State fans listening right now are very surprised to hear those numbers. And it's just a way to reflect that, well, things have been going good here. I mean, save for Purdue, for every other team too, well, son of a gun, they've actually looked halfway decent. So that's where we're at right now, Connor. Fun times.
I don't know. I would like to come out with my own percentages and have those be the gospel moving forward.
What would you call your analytical rankings? Oh boy, I should have workshopped a few of these before this. I'm not smart enough to do this live. The con numbers. I don't know.
I like that. I don't know.
That's all I got for you. Really quick, Jonathan Smith, he spoke at his media press availability. Nothing too earth-shattering. Connor, you did mention this in the first segment that Jerron Glover, they are optimistic he will return this Saturday. They weren't definitive with it, though, but he did reiterate that this isn't a long-term thing. Like every other injury going on at Michigan State, this is more of a week-to-week basis, so we will see if he plays this upcoming Saturday. If you missed it, he did not play at all against Prairie View A&M. Clearly, they did not need him to. And then he also confirmed that Brocious is most likely out for the rest of the year. Safe to say that. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'm not going to do the research, but I got to say, anytime a kid's carted off a field with his leg wrapped up, probably safe to say that his season's done. So he said as much as that. Rakeem Johnson, he did mention that he will be getting some right guard duty. Dallas Fincher will be the presumed starter coming forward. But yes, true freshman out of Idaho, Rakeem Johnson, he will be getting some run here because you just have to. Like, you're running out of bodies, Connor. So that's what we got. Unless you want to play right guard. Are you ready to play, Connor, or no?
Give me like a week to gain like 100 pounds and throw me in there.
You know what? You did a workout before you hopped on here. Was that like a strength training or cardio? Because we need strength, not cardio. Are you bulking up now or no?
No, it was a cardio thing. So maybe put me as like a I don't know. No, don't put me in there. Actually, don't do that. I can go for.
We might have to. Like, it doesn't matter like if you want to or not. Like by week 7, if this keeps trending the way we are, like you and the first 5 listeners are going to be the next 6 people on the depth chart here at right guard. So just be ready, go buy some cleats, go visit your nearest Dunhams, and just get ready and stop doing the cardio stuff. Start bulking up, please, Connor.
I played right guard when I was in middle school. So
let's go. Okay, God, if you keep talking, Jonathan Smith, I know he's a loyal listener of this podcast. Like, you might be getting a phone call from a 517 area code here in a little bit, Connor. So start eating those peanut butter sandwiches around the clock here. Speaking of clock, Connor, more news also came out this Monday. 7 o'clock kickoff time for the Ohio State game, and it's they're trying to stifle the shouts of optimism coming from East Lansing because hey, ACC Network coming up this weekend. They're putting it on Peacock. However, I know we're optimistic about our Spartans. I love the Jonathan Smith hire. I love how the season's going so far. Let's go back. What was that? A 4% chance of victory here. Actually, S&P Plus has you as a 27-point underdog against Ohio State. Look, this isn't like the most positive conversation, but I'll lean in. Is it actually good? It's on the Peacock and like not nationally televised. Like, is this actually okay?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. We've been so scarred by Ohio State games over the past, however many years. Like that 2021 game, I don't think I'll ever I don't know. The optimism that everybody had going into that game, I don't know, what was the score at halftime? Like 49.
Brother, they just scored again. I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah, that game.
You know what? I have a stat for you,
we looked
actually.
better we looked better 2 years ago? Was it where we were at Ohio State?
So I have a stat, and I might be on or off by a point, but I remember bringing this up a few times in the offseason. The last 3 years against Ohio State, the average score at halftime, 37-4. Against the Buckeyes the last 3 years. Again, I might be on or off, but I know I am very close to that. It's almost seared into my memory. So if we look better,
so you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance we're within 3 touchdowns at halftime for the first time in a long time. I don't know. So yeah, it's on one hand, I do want to harken back all the way back to the days of being like, oh, they're disrespecting us because, hey, you know what? I saw the AP poll come out. Michigan State received 0 votes. So I'm like, hey, that's right. Keep disrespecting us. They'll learn one day. And then I see, ACC Network for the Boston College game. Like, more disrespect. That's right. They're trying to censor what's going on here in East Lansing. And then I see Peacock. And I'm like, oh, man, the disrespect. Actually, that might be doing us a favor here. We still got a little ways to go until we can, claw and keep up with the Buckeyes, I think. I'd love to be wrong about all this. Believe me, I will be just doing cartwheels over here if we're even 10 points within them at the end of the game, but that's just my take on it. The Peacock, it sucks. I will have to renew, but that's probably fine to keep that audience limited, I think.
Let's just forget that game happened, and when people ask about it, I didn't see it televised. Did you?
Yeah. Didn't see it. Couldn't see it. Wasn't on my cable package. So
yeah.
It's $8.99 a month. Not everyone's bleeding money here. I couldn't do it. So
maybe you lost by a touchdown, maybe. I don't know.
Who would know? Truly, outside of Buckeye fans and Spartan fans, who would know? Like, that's the only people watching this game coming up in a few weeks. So
honestly, if you think about it, like a 49-point loss and a 7-point loss count the same. So
I like that. God, let's go, Connor. Really quick, you know what? Let's end it somewhat upbeat here. What kind of jerseys do you want to see for that? Do you want to see the blackout jerseys? Do you want to see the Shadows jerseys, or what do you want MSU to cook up out of the equipment department?
Like, I love the all green look.
Okay.
The all green look, but like the blackout hasn't been used enough, and when it has been used, we haven't looked good. So maybe save that for a big game that we have like a good chance of winning.
Okay, gotcha. Can I interest you in this week? And I know that we're the road team, but with the red bandana jerseys, Boston College will be wearing white. Do you want to see the Shadows jerseys for this weekend, or do you just want to kick it all the way down to that Friday game against Purdue?
This weekend wouldn't be horrible. It wouldn't be horrible. But I don't want to end up hating these, you know? Like, I don't want to end up – I like them. But I don't want it to be, synonymous with tough losses. That's
what, like, of all the things that we can complain about last year, which I did my fair share of, like, this is the weirdest hill for me to die on. I absolutely hated it from the start that they wore those Shadows jerseys against Michigan, because we all knew what was going to happen that game. Like, we were going to get run through the wood chipper. And these are cool jerseys. I just would have punted them till next year. You know what? Let's get a good memory in these threads before moving any further. And so we got to do some good marketing here in these jerseys. So if you want to kick it all the way in, you know what? I'm sold on that. I'm sold. I truly am. Like, just let's find that 69% chance of victory and keep them on ice until that one. So, folks, he's Connor Muldowney. We drag him on here time and time again. But Connor, this has been an odd conversation because this is like the third time in a row we've talked. And not after like a devastating loss or in the midst of an awful season. Like, we've smiled, I think, for 3, if not maybe 4 shows in a row here. I'm starting to get uncomfortable with this.
Yeah, I'm worried a little bit. Something's coming out. I'm not gonna say it. Let's just stay positive.
Okay, good call. Nice. Yeah. There we go. Folks, we will be back tomorrow. You already know it. I believe we will have Chase Glasser on tomorrow, and then we're gonna get in the Boston College side of things with Niraj Patel. He does great work over at BC Interruption. That is a Boston College blog over there. And at the end of the week, Maxwell Klitsky, he will be joining the show. That is guest all week leading up to kickoff. Saturday night, 8 p.m., Chestnut Hill. But hey, guys, until then, we'll see you all tomorrow. Love you all, especially you, Connor. Go Green.